Now they'll move it to Axe. Look, in the middle, dunk score. The roommates. Ridge to Mormando.
This episode is proudly sponsored by Edvative Learning. If you are an education major or anyone considering a career in teaching, you won't want to miss this. Edvative Learning is an innovative educational consulting company that is revolutionizing the way aspiring teachers prepare for their careers. As a proud sponsor of the Lax Lounge podcast and Cabrini Lacrosse, Edvative is here to help you take your teaching aspirations to new heights. Edvative offers a comprehensive one-on-one coaching program tailored specifically for those interested in entering the teaching profession. With Edvative's coaching program, you'll receive personalized guidance and support to help you succeed in your career. They provide mock interviews, guided job searches, resume optimization, and much more. Their team of experienced educators and career coaches will equip you with the skills and knowledge needed to excel in the competitive world of teaching. One of the most incredible aspects of Edvative's coaching program is their guarantee. Yes, you heard it right. They guarantee at least one job offer within the first 3 months of coaching. That's an amazing opportunity you don't want to miss. For just $250 per month, Edvative guarantees that you will receive at least one job offer. Imagine the peace of mind knowing that your investment in coaching will lead to tangible results. It's an offer you can't afford to pass up. So whether you're a current education major, a recent graduate, or someone looking to make a career change into teaching, Edvative Learning is here to support you and guide you in every step of the way. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to secure your job as a teacher. Visit their website at www.edvative.com to learn more about their coaching program and how they can help you kickstart your teaching career. Once again, that is www.edvative.com.
Fellas, how are we?
Welcome back into the Lax Lounge. So good to be back. It's only been a week. It feels like a month. And we got a very special guest with us. Nick, who's joining us today?
Colton, aka Bundy Padgett. Bundy, how are you, man? Sorry, that was Patty Stats.
What's up? It's nice to be on. Doing great. Just got the invite from you guys. I was pumped to hop on the podcast and be a part of it. I enjoyed being down in North Carolina listening to you guys during the season. The small updates you would give, they were really funny. So I'm happy to be on.
Hell yeah. This is a loyal Lax Lounge listener. One of our biggest from the North Carolina demographic. But, this isn't just a Lax Lounge enthusiast. This is a pretty big Lax rat in general. 2-time national champion. One with the Cavaliers right here. Other one this coming year, or this past year, I should say, with Lenoir-Rhyne, a D2 and a D3 ring on his finger, or it will be soon. But how was that experience just being at 2 national championships? That's something that I can't even think. Of course I dream about it, but think of living through that, especially at the 2 different levels. How does that feel from your perspective?
Well, the first time as a redshirt freshman, it was all very new and it felt like a whirlwind, and it all happened really, really fast because you play one more game in the D3 path than you do in the D2. So it felt like a lot more stressful for D3, I'd say, because you just play one more game. But D2 the second time around, especially as a 6th year, having hunted the trophy ever since we won it the first time and been coming up short, and just seeing all my friends' careers end, it was really surreal to being one of the older guys, being one of the last ones around of my friend group playing lacrosse. And the second time around, given D2, there was 1 week where you played 2 games in a week, but after that it was a Wednesday and a Sunday, and then it was only 1 game a week after that. So I felt really settled and really confident almost, because I also knew hey, we have all the pieces. I could see similarities between that Cabrini team and our Lenoir-Rhyne team. I knew how much talent we had, so I was a little bit more confident and less stressed the second time around, which I feel like would be normal.
Yeah, I can definitely echo the confidence in a good way, because when I saw you the day before, I've never seen someone the day before a national championship game so unrattled. You were built for that moment, and you could just tell the energy off of you. Literally, the only thing you could say is we're winning this. We are going to win this. I hope you are ready to celebrate with me, because we're going to win. Did that confidence kind of come from just understanding you've been there before and you've gone through that process? Or was there just something special about that Lenoir-Rhyne group this year?
It was both. So like, it was just like really good juju being back in Philadelphia, but like, because that's where we had won it before with Cabrini at Lincoln Financial. But there were so many similarities in the run that our Lenoir-Rhyne team was making compared to the run that the Cabrini team was making. And this Lenoir-Rhyne squad was pretty much all the guys who had lost it 2 years ago to Lemoyne. So they were really determined. A lot of them, it was their last go at it. We had all the pieces. So it was like confidence in our team, confidence in what they had been through before, confidence from what I had been through before. We were all seasoned. We were ready. And it all came together.
Came together in
Awesome.
quite the grand way too, because it wasn't just a nail biting finish. It was a full blown pummeling in that natty, and it was pretty fun to watch. We had a couple guys there, obviously in our Cabrini Colton student section, which was probably my favorite part about the entire weekend, was sitting right next to the Lenoir-Rhyne student section. All of us are wearing blue, and we're just cheering to get number 3 on the field. And the second you got on for that man down thing, I don't think I stopped screaming that entire possession. But definitely surreal experience on your end. Let's backtrack a little bit, because I think I forgot to mention a big point about you as a person and how we met. We're both Washingtonians, baby, from the Pacific Northwest, and somehow we ended up at shitty little Cabrini. What was it like kind of growing up? Because you had that early part of Washington lacrosse that was like, when I was playing, it was starting to get big. But what was it like when you were going through youth and then high school ball? Like, was the competition level there? And how did you get recruited to play out east? Because that's a pretty difficult thing to do back in the early days of Washington lacrosse.
Yeah, it was really interesting. It was like really a big pissing match politically between the different club teams in Washington, as it still is, but there's a little bit more pedigree behind the pissing match of the people that are barking at each other. But like, it was a total mess club lacrosse wise. There were clubs getting bought up because of adrenaline and their rules of like, if you want to play for West Coast Stars, but then like you have to play for your regional team. So guys didn't want to play for certain other club teams that were really talented just because it meant they didn't get the opportunity to play for West Coast Stars. So at the time, not every club team was, I don't think it was much of the talent not being there, but people weren't confident enough to spend the money to go out east to get recruited. Whereas like by the time I was in high school, every club team in Washington was going out east. It was kind of a matter of like picking like which team went to the best tournaments almost, or like where you wanted to go be seen. And so like initially I played for Stars, and then I played for Brady's Bunch and Team Washington. And I was on like a 12-day trip out on the East Coast, and the Cabrini coaches saw me at the Battle of the Hotbeds at University of Delaware. And it just kind of worked out. I was a late recruit because I had gotten hurt. And at the time, there wasn't a recruiting rule about like September 1st of your junior year. So everything was filled by the summer of your junior year mainly. At that point, if you weren't committed, you kind of knew you lied like very low D1, or you were going to get a unicorn spot at some really good school that somehow still had an open place, or you were going really high D3. So I kind of knew my value and where I was going to land, and Cabrini was like the perfect fit.
That's awesome.
That's
Nick,
sweet. Yeah.
with your guys's like summer ball team, was it as political? Because it still kind of is out here, where there's a lot of just like divides about like, if you play for this team, you'll get to that national team. If you go here, you can play here. But right now, I think
so. It's not as big of a problem, and there's enough local tournaments to where like pissing match still allows every kid to get recruited. Whereas like in out west, it like ruins opportunities. I feel like out east, there's so many tournaments where coaches are at, you can't you can't go really wrong with what club team you play for.
So I think that's a really good point that you just made, is there's like 1,000 tournaments in the summer, right? So, coaches are at every tournament. But yeah, I mean, I would say there's definitely like tiers to the club level of like what teams would you want to play for if you want to go to get looked at by better schools on a more regular basis. But yeah, I'm sure it's probably all the same across the country with like politics regarding it.
Yeah, right now, the team that I played for, and actually where I'm at, Colton City side, we're kind of like starting to get back up to the top, or I wouldn't say even back. We're starting to climb up to the top of that hierarchy because there's been a big drift between people wanting to go play Seattle Stars because you get that West Coast Stars connection, because you can go to advance NDP, which is one of the top teams at every age level, and like these super big name tournaments out east where a lot of guys have been recruited well, are playing at D1 schools, but now we're starting to see a lot of them come over to city side because they're having like a little bit of problems with the coaching staffs for Stars. Like a lot of them are prioritizing winning and kind of like being a little bit too hard on the kids, whereas like I would say for our team, we have a really good balance about like when I need to get on you, when I need to, coach you up, and when we can just have fun and when you can like laugh and like enjoy playing the game. I know that was something back in the day that kind of kept me away from like any of these big travel teams. But I know you had a really good coach, Colton, in high school who started to like switch that trend. What was it like playing for OD at Eastlake? Chris O'Doherty, a big Rutgers guy.
Well, at the time, like I had OD when he was still like towards the end of the prime of his career. So he was like physical specimen, like super strong. He would suit up with us in practice and like accidentally fold kids just because he was so strong. And he was a bit of a crazy person then, but like in the best way possible. I loved playing for him. And like he was very hard nosed, whereas like in the East Coast is a much more physical brand of lacrosse. So like I liked playing for him because he actually prepared me to come out east. Like whereas other people were those who were like adopt the sayings of like, oh, we don't play like that around here. It's kind of like a softer finesse game, but like they're not good enough to play a soft finesse game. You need to kind of learn how to play the physical side of things if you're going to go out east. And so playing for OD was great. I was always like ready to get yelled at by anybody. He definitely made me tough enough to play for Colfer. That's for sure. That's why I didn't hate Colfer. Like a lot of people couldn't deal with yelling. Whereas like when Colfer yelled at me, I knew it was because he cared, no matter how brutal it was, because he would definitely lay into you. But like, because I had been laid into in high school by OG, I was fine.
That's a really interesting point you bring up.
That's conditioning right there. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're conditioned to get yelled at.
Yeah.
And also
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say like the point of you not even having to have that transition of going from like, softer West Coast to brutally honest East Coast, like that definitely made your freshman year probably a lot easier, or your first few years, I should say. Whereas like I definitely had a little bit of that rougher transition going from like all respect to Drew Snyder, but he's not really the get in your face, like, really get on you type of guy. He's kind of more laid back and like will get frustrated, but is pretty good about like kind of controlling that and still keeping you like a little bit in good spirits. And then you come out in your first practice and you drop a ball at Cabrini and everyone's up your ass and you're just like, holy shit, what am I doing? Like, am I really just that bad? Like, was your transition a lot more smooth coming from the West to the East Coast, or did you have a couple bumps in the road playing wise?
I would say like, since I had come off an injury and was hurt for 15 months, like I had to get up to speed, obviously, but like, I kind of like playing a hard-nosed game. I'm not here to say, oh, I'm God's gift to lacrosse, but like the way people say Bryce Young is like a confrontational style player, the defenseman for the Whipsnakes, I am confrontational. Like some teammates love me, some teammates hate me during practice. Like I play a confrontational style. So like going to Cabrini was perfect. I was like, and I also, since I had been hurt, kind of like got to observe from the outside looking in, like what coaches would say to a player's face and then what they'd say behind their back, like in a positive way, like how they would rip into a kid and then come off to the sideline. They like actually weren't even mad about what he did. That's just like how coaches coach, you know? So I was pretty weathered before my first practices. I knew what I was getting myself into.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing to know too, is like know what you're getting yourself into, especially when you're going to play a higher level of lacrosse. You know,
Oh yeah.
it's like you're getting yourself into, you know, people that want to compete. That's all it really is.
And I tell Nick all the time, like the transition that I had was definitely interesting because you go, and I actually just had this experience like literally last weekend where I kind of remember this whole scenario of like when you play out here out west, I should say, is like you're kind of the man. Like your senior year, you're going the entire way. I was like, oh, I was a senior captain, and a lot of people knew, oh, I'm going to Cabrini, like pretty high D3. A couple of my other friends were going D3. Like we really had a lot of success, and it was kind of like easy for us. And then you go out east and you're like, oh shit, I'm joining a group where everybody was the man at their school, and their schools are competing against other schools that are really, really talented. Whereas like the pool that we have out here, I mean, when you have to play no ricochet shots, but when you have to play Blanchette, Lakeside, Kennedy Catholic, like a lot of these schools just aren't as talented, and you kind of get to work them, like Atlantic East Conference for Cabrini, basically. So that transition is always weird where you go out east and it's like, fuck, am I really like just not that good anymore? You know, you have to step up your game. And then whenever I come back, I always realize it's like, oh, no. Okay. Like I am still pretty good at lacrosse. Like this weekend, I was playing box lacrosse down in Portland with the Everett Express. Shout out the Express, because it's I haven't played box in 5-6 years, maybe. Having a blast right off the bat. But it's one of those where I went into the game like a little bit nervous because it's like, you know, men's leagues, first time playing like men beer league lacrosse. Some of the guys are a little bit bigger than me. Some of them just are older, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, maybe I'll have to like try a bit harder, like be smart. And then you go out and you're just like kind of fucking around, having fun, and you're still one of the best players on the floor. Like there's no better feeling than that. And I just had a smile on my face the entire time thinking like, okay, this is my why. Like this is why I love lacrosse right here. For when I get to just like go shit on squids. Like it was me and my buddy, me and Rubio went down to play, and he had like 6 goals, 3 assists. I had 3 goals, 6 assists, like couple to him, couple of just like fuck around plays. I had one, oh my gosh, this guy sold my clip so bad. There was a shot off the boards. It came in front of the crease. I scooped it up. Triple team came around me. I just flipped it behind my back right into a stick. 1-on-1 with the goalie. Dink, bonk, completely missed. And I literally just looked at him like, come on, man. Like I'm putting that one on a platter for you. Everybody's on me. But it was still just such a fun time. And that reminds me why when I go out east, it's like, you know, you're just competing with a lot of great lacrosse players. Like you're not the scum of the earth. You're not just the West Coast kid who has to prove himself. Like you're talented. You just got to go out there and like play with that confidence. I think that's what I'm really realizing, kind of coming back and like, oh, I got it. I just got to be confident with it.
So yeah, when did you guys meet exactly?
Summer of my sophomore year, I want to say.
Yeah, it was summer of this year.
Yeah, me and Bundy, we met probably in that similar time. Maybe it was my junior year. I forget, but we met at
Like, it was like the summer before you moved in.
Yeah, it was. It was my junior year. Actually, my junior year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We met at what, LU, right?
Yeah, Lacrosse Unlimited.
I wanted to give a shout out to the Jason Christmas.
Yeah, shout out Jason Christmas. He's the GOAT.
He
all
is
time.
the GOAT. Yeah, dude, he's awesome. He's
Lacrosse
awesome. I saw him at, I think, 3 tournaments this year. It was awesome. Just ran into him every time. Great combo. So, you know, shout out to him.
Yeah, he's a beast. If you're in the Philly area and need gear, go see Jason Christmas at the LU in Ardmore. He'll take care of you. Jay's the man.
I was going to say, yeah, he is Ardmore. I didn't know if he was Paoli.
Hashtag not sponsored, but please sponsor us, Lacrosse Unlimited. Reach
That'd
out.
be so cool. That'd be so cool.
shoot us an Instagram DM. We'll get back to you. We'll start talking.
I like that.
But yeah, it was the summer of my sophomore year, because I vividly remember the first time I met you. It was at a practice at Marymore, and we were low on numbers. This was my first summer with Cityside. We were combined practicing with the 22s, and I think it was a full field scrimmage, and you decided to suit up because they needed a couple extra pulls, and you were guarding me, and I think you were bitching about like nobody was dodging hard or something, like it was super soft and you just wanted to get reps. And I just turned to you and I was like, I mean, I don't really care. Like, we can just go at each other. And we just started going and like full blown competing and like this kind of soft practice, because it was like 7 o'clock at night. It's summer ball. Like, nobody's really trying super hard. And we were kind of just battling. And that's when I remember turning to you and be like, so where's that helmet from? So you were wearing your blue Cabrini helmet. And you literally looked at me and were like, the school that just won the D3 national championship. Like,
not like that. You would ask, like, if you would ask where I was from, I said Cabrini, and they were like, "Oh, are you guys any good?" And I was like, "We just won the Natty. We're good." Because everybody knows like who it is. So like, well, are you guys any good? And that summer, it was real refreshing to be like, "Oh yeah, we just won it." You can Google it.
Huh. You can Google it.
Yeah, now I have the experience of, oh, Cabrini, and then everyone knows where it is now, because they're like, aren't you the school that's getting bought out by Villanova? And I'm like, ironically, yeah, it's
Dude,
not the other Cabrini.
I was at work last night, and one of the people there, they were talking about it, and I was just like, yeah, I'm actually a student there, and they're like, I am so sorry for you. And the one guy was wearing like a Villanova polo, and I was just like,
He just covers up the logo.
I was in like Vail and Tahoe recently, and the guys on my team that I was playing with were like making jokes about it, like, "Oh, you have 2 Villanova degrees now." I was like, "Yeah, you're hilarious. Ha ha ha." Yeah.
I had that this weekend. A guy on my team, Landon Johnson, if you know him, Drexel guy. He came up to me. Yeah, from Bellevue. Stud. He was playing defense for us. First box game ever, and he's a natural for it. Like, he was built for box lacrosse.
I love him.
Great kid either way. But he came up to me because I was wearing that same blue Cabrini helmet, and I think it was after like a possession where we scored, and he was like, "Oh, you got a nice little retro helmet there. Like, that's gonna be vintage." Hitting me with the vintage in a few years. And I turned back to him and like just jokingly with a huge smile, I'm on the boards right now, like coming off the field. And I'm just like, yeah, it's gonna be great when I make $400 off sideline swap with this thing. Like, it's gonna be dope. My GM, or our coach, he's the GM, but like he's just a 25-year-old dude. Legend. Shout out J-Law. But he looks at me and he's like, yo, Fridge, that was like low-key foul, but like on yourself. And I'm like, I just whipped out the same thing where it's like, no, like, it's hilarious when I say it because I'm dealing with it. If you said it, it'd be fucked up. So we're gonna laugh because I'm the one who said it. And we were all just like busting down laughing on the sideline. But like, that's just kind of how it is now. Everybody knows Cabrini.
That's kind of like, you can make a joke about your dead family member, but other people can't make a joke about your dead family member.
Literally. Same situation.
Yeah. Same thing.
If only Landon knew that a few of our guys puked and ruined the Drexel men's lacrosse bathroom on our way to the national championship in 2019. If only he knew.
Okay, we need to go a little bit deeper into that one. What's the build up to that on the way to the Natty? Are you practicing at Drexel?
I mean, like, we had a practice at Drexel, and like just some non-suitless guys decided to enjoy their time in the hotel, and they puked all over the Drexel bathroom the next morning before practice. And the bit was that they were sick, and Colford went along with it so that he could not be angry for the game. He admitted later on that he knew what was going on. I'm not stupid. I knew which 2 kids were doing it. It was two of your usual suspects. Yes, it was great. But everything went smoothly. It was all good. And we won it. But if only Landon knew. Drexel played a part in our journey.
Now he's gonna go into his locker room, because I think he's a Lax Lounge listener. I got him onto the show because his friend actually like talked to me about it this weekend. He brought his buddy from Bellevue, And while we're in the post game, because we beat the Voodoo, go Express, he came up to me and he was like, "You're the one with the podcast, right? Like we were listening to it on the way down. Like it's actually pretty good stuff." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, baby! I love to hear that." But he was saying, or I'm gonna tell Landon that we brought that up so that he can now go into the locker room knowing that it's been christened by the Cabrini men's lacrosse team in the past.
I told a kid in his grade named Brennan Donnelly, who's the goalie in his class. I worked with at Lacrosse Unlimited. I told him that story. He's a good kid. I hope Don's doing well at Drexel.
That's awesome. And you are playing box lacrosse yourself. I went on my own box rant, but you've been playing for a few years, if I'm not mistaken. How's that going? And what's that like kind of looking at right now as you're transitioning away from your college lacrosse career and now picking up, you have a little bit more time to kind of pick up that stuff?
Yeah. I started playing with the Philly Funk initially. RIP the Funk. That team fell through when the GM got hired by the Philadelphia Wings, and now he's like moved on to work for like US Lacrosse this year. He left the Wings. He's like he was really good at running the show, so the Funk ran very well, but once he left, it folded. And then I've been playing for Team More Dudes, which is a tri-state area team, and the team name is kind of like a play on words from an old Boston College's, like the old Boston College coach's speech, where he talks about how he needs more dudes in the locker room. And so we're like maroon and gold, like Boston College. And this year, I just started playing for the US Boxla Philly Kings associated group. Just now, we have a game Sunday. We have a doubleheader Sunday, actually. But now that field is over and box is something that I like a lot, I'm definitely going to be focused on it. Definitely going to like make a video and might put my name in, see where it goes. Because I've seen some crazy names get drafted who I've crossed paths with. There's some guys in the league who have contracts who I've had success against. So I'm definitely going to put my name in and see what happens. If nobody wants to sign me for a camp or something, then I'll show up to the Wings tryout. I'm going to see that process through and see how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, if Eli Gobrecht can do it out of Ithaca, where he was D3 Defensive Player of the Year, went to an open tryout with the San Diego Seals, and now he's like one of their better defenders on the team, I think that's a perfect spot for you to kind of wiggle in, because he had to learn box at the tryout. Obviously, you've been playing for a little bit, so you're more in tune with what's going on. I fully think that if you just keep working, get that tape together, like you could land up on a roster one way or another as the league is expanding too, because there's more opportunities. My dad says this all the time. There's more opportunities for American box players to kind of get into the loop with all these new teams. Like we're not just seeing straight guys from the WLA, from the East Side League. I'm blanking on the name.
Yeah. Ontario League.
Yeah, exactly. With like the Brampton guys and Six Nations, like all these insane box lacrosse teams at the senior A level. It's not just them dominating the sport anymore. We're seeing, Americans pick it up, like Mac O'Keefe. He's actually a solid box player for the Seals. He's a good role player because he's started to figure out the game. Same with Blaze Reardon, Matt Rambo with the Wings, Trevor Baptiste. Like all these guys are starting to learn the game and become role players. And we're not just seeing like, of course, the Bandits won this year, so that's a horrible example because that's just all Canadians. But outside of that, like we're seeing the league grow and expand. It's really fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. I really like watching it. And as you said, there's a lot of opportunities. So, like, I think especially right now, as somebody who just got my second ring, like I'm pretty marketable right now. And as like a going on 25 in January, so I'm 24 right now, 24-year-old with 2 rings, Philly area guy. I think I could be like Philly area now that I've been around for 5 years and then only left. So I have a pretty big network here. I think I could find a way to make it happen. I hope it works out.
And you can make the pitch about, having a little Cabrini legacy, like keep that alive, start to bring that up and use that card every once in a while. But no, that's sick. That's really, really cool to hear that you're trying to take that direction. After this past year at Lenoir-Rhyne, you used up all of your eligibility for playing, correct?
Well, the NCAA did this stupid thing where for D3 they gave back semesters instead of like a year. So essentially, I have 1 semester left, and the clause is that they say you have to use it as soon as possible as a full-time student, and you can't like drop out and then pick it up and use it. They like have amended that. You can't do that. So like they basically like nobody's gotten a semester extension before what I'm trying to do, because the only other 7th year that I've heard of was Adam Charlene. I actually asked him like what his process was, and he said that like the NCAA couldn't mess with him because all of his years were medical, and he actually left an 8th year on the table, allegedly, is what I've been told. So like, I don't really think I'm leaving anything on the table because I played for so long and I won 2 rings, but like, I was kind of told that it was taken care of and that I was going to be good to go next year. So I kind of wish I would have known that it was my last game, but it's okay that it was my last game. I'm chilling. It's all good.
Yeah, you ended on the best possible, best possible kind of ending, right? You won.
Mm-hmm.
You won the last game of the year.
Won my last game. I'm fortunate.
Yeah, you started out your freshman year.
You know what's sick too is Penn was on that team. You know, we brought it up before, not in this pod, but we brought it before. But you know, another Cabrini guy, Rob Pensabene, was also on the team. Starting goalkeeper.
Was his birthday yesterday or today when we're recording?
His birthday is today.
Shout out Bobo.
Shout
tall
out
guy.
Yeah, shout out Rob. Happy birthday, man. It is
July
July 20th right now.
5. Yeah, he's a beast. Rob played so well and got robbed because Mercyhurst was so bad. Like Rob could have set the saves record for the Division II tournament, and he was like in the mid 70%, but Mercyhurst just didn't shoot the ball enough for him to make enough saves. It was ridiculous. Rob got robbed. Actually,
Rob got robbed. Get the t-shirts right now. Nick, start making designs.
If Mercyhurst would have had a little more juice, Rob has the record, I promise.
Rob got robbed.
I believe it. And he had a really unique season as well, because he didn't start out as the front runner to be the starting goalie, if I'm not mistaken. And then he just kind of jumped onto the scene. So what was that like to kind of, obviously as a guy who's known him for 2 to 3 years before getting to LR, kind of seeing him go through that and then ending up on that note, what was that like? And how was he kind of taking the transition from Cabrini to LR and then ending up as a national champion?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely went through it his last 2 years at Cabrini. It was a bit of a mess. So he decided to leave, and like I kind of knew he was going to really like it down there. The defensive coordinator at LR is like the best goalie in program history. So like he's pretty much known as that. I think Rob broke one of his records this year for like saves in a game in the regular season. But so I knew Rob was really going to like it. And when we got there, he enjoyed it a lot. He had really good friends. Like one of his best friends from Lenape, where he grew up, Bryce Reese. Shout out Bryce Reese, 15. He's the man, Mr. Reese. Really good people. They went to high school together. So Bryce lived with him and one of the other older guys on the team, Liam McGrath. Liam's the man. He's playing for the Admax right now in the WLA. He'll probably get drafted. Liam's really say. So Rob had good roommates. He really liked his time there. He's going back next year. He lived it up the whole time. He had like on his chin piece, he said, I like the goalie throat guard. He had tape on it and written on it. It said, "I just want to go home." And like home was the link. That was his like bit the whole year. Wow. And he did what he wanted to do. We all did what we set out to do. Rob proved the doubters wrong, and that he could be elite and play at a high level and be the man. And so I was really happy for him.
Yeah, I think both of us are. You know, all of us are really. I mean, especially like what you said, didn't really have the greatest past 2 years at Cabrini. Not in a play sense, but in other regards. Transferred out, and then obviously worked his ass off.
Like it did, like he didn't play as good as he wanted, but the way that he lost his job was a real kick in the nuts. was somebody coming out of retirement. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it was definitely really hard for him. And so it was nice to bounce back and like ball out. So I was really happy for him. He came into his own this year. He figured it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was great to see. I mean, I remember when we went to Lynchburg for our spring break trip, Nick and I's freshman year, I was roommates with Pence when he took the LR call.
Dude.
So it was me, him, and LC.
So bold.
Yeah, like it was crazy because we
fucking God, he was done.
Mm-hmm. So he like tells us when we get into the room, he's like, "Hey guys, I just want to give you a heads up. Like, I'm expecting a call in the next 20 minutes. If you guys can kind of just keep this on the DL, like I'm in the portal. Colf doesn't know yet. I'm talking with Lenoir-Rhyne and trying to transfer down there." And me and LC were just like, dude, lips sealed. Like, you got to do what's best for you, man. And it was kind of like where we all saw the writing on the wall, where he wasn't the starter and he really was fighting to be the backup. And that backup fight wasn't really, the coaching staff wasn't putting him in that true backup role quite yet. So we totally understood it. But I mean, from the entire season on, everyone just loved Rob. So I know watching him go out there, pop off, and like you said, prove people wrong. It was really a cool experience to kind of like know that we were along for the ride, and we saw the down, and now he's all the way up. So we're gonna have to get Rob on the show one of these days. He's just 100%. Such a great gem to society.
100%.
When we were at Lynchburg, I was like stretching during pregame, and like had known that I was committed to LR at that point. I knew I was going to grad transfer out for my 6th and potentially 7th year. So like I was committed to LR at that point when we were playing at Lynchburg, and like Rob came and started like having a conversation with me during pregame about LR. I was like, "This is when you want to talk to me about it, about all these people." Okay, Rob, that was bold, and he was ready to leave. That's when I knew. I was like, "Damn, he's over it. He does not care." Like we're in pregame for a top 10 game, and he's like, "Yo, what's this new place like?" He was done so. So I was happy to see him play well this year.
Hell yeah. I mean, there's nothing better than that. Outside of lacrosse, what else do you have going on with your life? Like what makes you tick, to say the least?
I mean, I like work out a lot. I like going to the gym. I enjoy that. And then I really just spend time hanging out with the guys who I play with, like off the field. I like just like hanging out, watching Netflix, watching lacrosse. Like I watch a lot of the PLL and the NLL with my friends when I can. But
Dryer's done. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but Dryer's done.
That's a bit. So our dryer, I think, just went off, and there was a bit that we had in one of the earlier episodes where it went off super loud, and obviously like we had the mics out, so everything got picked up. And then I just like kind of kept talking, and I looked at Nick, and I was like, "The dryer's done, by the way," and just kept going, and it was hilarious. Everyone loved it.
Is Nick at the crib?
I'm at the crib.
Dude,
don't say where it's at, because this gets public. I was literally doing shit today, and then last night I worked, and then tomorrow I work. So, you know.
I don't know. I'm saying like you and I could have been on the same camera. Like I was playing box at Steelyard.
He's thinking through it in his head where he's like, "Fuck yeah, you're right."
Well, no, I wasn't really thinking that. I was more so thinking this is easier. But yeah, Steelyard, that's in Conchie. Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, this works for the masses.
That's something that we'll figure out a little later, how to do virtual in-person interviews. Where
yes,
I haven't gotten to see you in a long time, Nick. I was writing your goods.
Sorry, you should have just knocked up.
Yeah,
but ride your bike to my house, just drop it off, knock on the door. Ask my mom if I'm home. Yeah, come in for some hot chocolate or something. I don't know.
Can I stay for dinner?
Of course. All right, this just got weird. Here we go. Bundy, this is the point in the this is the point in the podcast where I tell you have to think of a draft. I forgot to tell you to do that the other day. So Just think of a draft.
Draft
Don't
that.
say it out loud. Just think of one right now.
Just get it in your mind. We'll bring it up a
Yeah.
little bit later. We still
Yeah,
got time. I think
yeah.
we're right around 45 minutes, 50 minutes,
Couldn't
give or
tell you.
take.
Could not tell you.
But
Yeah.
regardless, you said you were listening or watching a lot of Netflix recently. I just got done finishing the Quarterback, the new miniseries on
Amazing.
absolutely Patrick
It's-
Mahomes,
yeah.
Marcus Mariota, and Kirk Cousins. Oh my gosh, as a self-proclaimed football guy, as a PMT listener, I absolutely was just drooling over all this inside access, where it's like kind of cool to see these guys as people. Like, the worst thing, in my opinion, I like Kirk Cousins now, and I'm obviously a Packers fan, so I have to despise him and I have to talk shit about him. But like, he's just a good ass dude, and
He's a very good person.
Yeah. I kind of see a lot of myself where it's like he doesn't really care about being flashy. Like, he's the dad, and fuck, I'm the dad. Like, that's literally me as a professional quarterback. So I was just like, God damn it, why do I like you so much now?
His job is to be a quarterback. That's literally, that's how you describe him. It's like, yeah, that's his job. It's not like, oh, he's a football player. Well, I mean, that's how he would say it, but that's how he looks at it. He's like, okay, time to go to my job. Come home to my wife. One of those things.
What 8 quarterbacks are in that? I saw that it was a bunch of them.
It's Mahomes, Mariota, and Cousins. It's just the 3 of them. And
Dude, and
follows
it's
them
the
all throughout
funniest thing
season.
ever. The funniest thing is the differences between their lifestyles. Like, I don't know if you remember, but it starts off with like Mahomes, right? And it's like, obviously, beautiful house, all that. And then it cuts to Cousins. Another beautiful house, not as flashy, like you said, right? Because they're just normal people. And then it's just on the one skit in the beginning, it's like his shirt that he wore the first week. And his wife's like, yeah, I love picking out his outfits, I started dying laughing. Just the
And someone
differences
chirped
between
him.
the two of them.
Someone
Yeah.
chirped him where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, is that from Walmart? And she's like, no, it's from TJ Maxx, or it's from Target. Like, I just liked it. And I dress Kirk, like, for all of his meetings, I dress him. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing. Like you said, it's the inside access that we've never gotten before.
Literally. And
week by week.
Some of the things that they did have, like, they always had throwback clips of like big moments. It always surprises me how the NFL just has all of this stock footage of like every single down from every single game in insane quality. Like, that's just a little bit of the film nerd in me. But like, you'll see they talk about the You Like That game, where there's just full blown like 4K highlights of Kirk Cousins balling out against Tampa Bay. Some of the stuff he did in college, Patrick Mahomes, Mariota when he was at the University of Washington, like when they were playing UW and when he beat him. Yeah. They were practicing at UW. I said that wrong, but either way, like it's just insane to kind of see them put that all together.
It did. It's very cool.
That's how the NFL Network runs. It's all of the crazy insider footage they get. That's how they get people to pay the money for it. I used to rip NFL Network. It was so sick. And Red Zone.
Greatest invention of all time.
Red Zone's amazing. Yeah,
NFL
dude. We abuse your what is it, YouTube TV? More Reds. Dude, it's the best.
It's the only reason really I have it.
What is it? It's not 12 hours. It's like what? 10 hours, 8 hours?
7 hours of commercial-free football. Oh,
yeah.
I just get chills thinking about it. It just reminds me of the great season that we're going to have. And I think it's like we're 60 days. No, less than 60. I think it's like 50 days away from the start of the NFL season, which is just the most wonderful time of the year. If you ask,
the Eagles are going to do so well.
I mean, the Green Bay Packers, it's the Jordan Love era, and I'm more than ready to watch Jordan Love become the next great quarterback in the National Football League. And I will keep telling it to myself until we are the number 1 pick in the draft, because we suck. But I'm going to have confidence that we're going to do it, because the Bears are not our fathers. The whole Happy Father's Day thing from Jordan Love to Chicago fans, where it's like, buddy, that is not how you chirp. Like, you would say, hey, at Bears, where's my Happy Father's Day post? Because I'm your daddy. But anyways, It's gonna be a great season. Packers are gonna do so super duper awesome. Actually, something I am curious to watch, speaking of NFL stuff, Hard Knocks featuring the New York Jets. I kind of love the background of that, how the Jets said openly, we don't want the NFL there. We don't want HBO doing this. And HBO just ends up doing it anyways. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a comedian on that.
Oh my
They're
God.
not going to be able to get a word out of him.
It's going to be awesome. But at the same time, I feel like they are. I feel like, but it's going to be just, some bullshit. He's not going to be like taking it serious.
When is he ever?
Exactly. He has that personality, but it's like you said, it's funny, and he's able to run with it.
So I'm very interested in that.
Yeah. In Lax Lounge fashion, I have I wouldn't call it a sport necessarily. I have poker on in the background.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's yours of poker when it gets competitive? Actually, I guess like one really random thought that I had a couple days ago, actually, because we were watching Wimbledon, like the tennis championships, and it's been on in the mornings. I'll usually just kind of like have it on in the background because like sports guy, I got to. And it's weird when you get into tennis, like you'll get into that last set and you don't think that you care. But me and Rubio were watching the Djokovic versus gosh, I'm forgetting the guy who won, but he was the number 1 seed, Alcaraz. Because I kept making the joke of like every redneck American's like, we got Alcatraz out here in the Wimbledon championship. But we were watching that and like it low-key got intense at the end. And I'm like, wait, why do I care about this? Like, why am I actually into this? It's weird with some of those like non-niche sports when you see the beauty in it. Like tennis, it's fucking hard.
Dude, tennis is sick. Especially like, I mean, what was it? I saw the stat. What was the guy's name that won it?
Alcaraz.
And who did he play in the last set? It was
Djokovic.
Djokovic,
the Joker.
Djokovic he was like 13-0 with what was it, 13-0 if he won the first set in the finals or like in any like championship or whatever. If he won the first set,
What a freak.
13-0. That was the first time he won the first set and then lost. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was also like there was only like 4 Wimbledon champions in the past for men's in the past like 12 years.
Yeah, it's been Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal, I think.
Yeah.
Just back and
then
forth.
I think one other guy, like probably 2010, maybe, like early. Oh, not even early, but like early for us, I guess.
Yeah, it is wild. And me and a couple of my boys have been joking around because in case you didn't know, the state sport of Washington in the summer is pickleball. And I've been joking about just somehow.
Seamus Hogan won a pickleball tournament. You guys see that?
I did see that. I did.
Did he? Good for you, Seamus.
Yeah, Moose he's been playing like, what is it, like men's league or just with old people?
Loves pickleball. I have no idea. It's probably like in every age league because you need enough humans to have a league.
Because I see
separated
at my gym right across from where like the squat racks are is the pickleball courts. And I will always see just like, usually it's 50 and up only who are just, they're getting really sweaty in there. Like they're making plays, they're calling stuff out, they're getting tough about rules. And I just sit there thinking about like, I would love to just get really good at pickleball and school all these like, old retired grandma and grandpas who think that they're sick. And just like start to work my way around the pickleball circuit. Like, I think that'd be hilarious if a couple of us just got really good.
Dude, we should do that. Dude, that could be a goal. Like, that could be like a challenge that we have. Like me and you, the Lax Lounge, we could document it. And it's just like us. Now, I mean, that wouldn't be very Lax Lounge of us, but just a pickleball series. And it's just us. We practice. Like, we have like one practice video, and then like we're at a tournament. But yeah, that'd be sick. Just me and you. We invest in, some nice, like, we can get customized rackets, right? Lax, cold. Bridgie, cold.
Oh, I think it's in my room, but we have senior year of high school at O'Day, a big thing because of course it was COVID and we had to be social distance. We had got these set up ping pong like tables where you can just bring the net to any table in the room and you can play ping pong wherever. So literally my senior year, I spent half of it online, half of it playing ping pong, because every time we were in school, we were like, hey, we're seniors, we're getting gypped of our like senior year, you know, class can wait, let's play ping pong. So we had massive ping pong tournaments the entire semester. At the end of the year, my mentor group teacher got us all custom table tennis like rackets or ping pong paddles. That's what I was looking for. Table tennis rackets. What the fuck was that? Custom ping pong paddles that had the O'Day logo and our house logo on the back. I want to say it might be in here somewhere, but it definitely could be in my room at school. Oh, if I find it, I'm gonna start looking. If I find it, I'd be sick. It's definitely in storage, actually, now that I think about it.
That's awesome. But yeah, I'm telling you, that could be a thing. That could be a thing. Gain a sponsorship off that.
Sponsored team.
Get like customized jerseys, like basketball jerseys, but they're pickleball.
He's so hype.
Legacy team jersey.
Yes.
Like a really old classic mesh.
Yeah.
Got to have the headbands, Lax Lounge ink on it.
100%.
Oh, we're gonna make this happen. Stay tuned.
I think we have the tail on the website. I think if we do it right, we have the tail hanging from our side, because you know sweat could build up on the arms and all that. You don't want to rub it on the forehead. Exactly. I think we're doing it. I think it's gonna happen.
We just had a great idea.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start. You know, like you said, make a design. The design's already made. It's just fucking put it on there.
Put me on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, we can have like a form.
Absolutely.
We can have a tier of teams. We can have like an A team and a B team.
GM coach. We'll get
That's what I'm saying,
Dustin
bro.
to be our trainer.
No,
We'll do pickleball conditioning.
We've really thought this out.
We just officially committed to the pickleball realm. After this lacrosse season, we're gonna transition into professional pickleball players.
Fridgie, fucking imagine that shit.
Oh my god.
Pickleball is really fun too. Like,
Bundy's doing that because he is imagining it. He's seeing it. Wrap it up
real quick and then like play pickleball so your body stays healthy.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, did he just say all right, let's get this over with, I'm done?
No, I was saying you like one more year of lacrosse and wrap it up, you're done. And you just like keep your body healthy, never ruin it. Just
hell yeah. Lifelong sport.
It's like some people after they play a sport for a while, they pick up golf. We just grind pickleball.
Yeah.
Cheaper.
Screw golf.
So much cheaper. Golf is
so much cheaper.
When I was in Vail and Tahoe, our group spent so much money on golf. I went once. This kid from Yale who don't golf just like rented a cart and got drunk and chirped our friends the whole time.
There you go. Yeah. Like golf, you need, what is it? You need probably, I'd say at least 8 clubs and a bag. You're paying for all of it. Pickleball, you need a ball.
And balls.
Tees. And balls and tees and a glove.
Hat.
And you need like proper attire.
Slacks.
You have to have like.
I mean, maybe for a pickleball tournament, you need a proper attire. So I don't know if the jerseys and the headbands, if that's going to fly. But
we could be like in dodgeball, where we just like come out as the purple cobras and just like fuck everything up.
Peekaboo.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's a thought. I'll write that down. Yeah, Bundy. Like any sports that you're gonna pick up after like your lacrosse career's done. Is your lacrosse career ever gonna be done? Rather.
I mean, I think it'll be a few more years before I ever am just like, I'm not even gonna play in a men's league.
Yeah,
but definitely gonna start golfing.
Golf. You could play pickleball. We could sign you.
I'm gonna do both. I could totally play pickleball. I used to love pickleball.
It's one of those things that if you're signing with us, you gotta dedicate your time to it. There can't be other distractions.
my time on the golf course. Golf does
Absolutely not.
I don't know if you could do pickleball and golf in the same day. 18 holes takes a lifetime.
And like
That's why-
pickleball is low key intense. Like you're moving
is.
around, you're getting active.
So I have to dedicate time to it.
I think I stick to pickleball until my knee begs for help and never wants to work every day. Then I take up golf.
I guess there's the pros and cons there.
Yeah, man. I mean, Tiger's body got mauled in a car crash, and he's golfing professionally again. So if my knee ever goes again, I'll be good.
What's
I'll
the
start
other
golfing.
guy? Like the big guy who always is smoking cigs and drinking, is it Diet Coke? Like he's just out there on the PGA Tour. I think so. Yeah.
John Daly? No,
John Daly.
John Daly.
John
John
Daly?
Daly.
Yeah. He's the man.
John Daly.
He's hilarious. I love it.
Legend.
Pinnacle of health.
His son's also like
He is
extremely good at golf too. Plays at I think it's Arizona. I might be wrong. I think it is Arizona.
Mhm.
I think we can do it, Colton. What would you like to draft, my boy?
The draft? Sheesh, I haven't even.
While you're thinking, I will say the last one, I looked at the stats this morning. Corbin had a landslide victory. I think he had 4 votes out of 5. And he had a comment from,
I didn't.
oh, it was a good one.
Oh my
It was
God.
a good conversation.
It was a good conversation.
That was like
Sheesh.
an OG, just like really good conversation with one of our teammates, which is like, just it's kind of why we started doing this. He told his Cabrini story. We shot the shit about coaching, which, by the way, forgot to mention, got to give a shout out to my City Side boys. We're going to San Jose this weekend. We're going to go kick some ass at our tournament, and hopefully we're going to win our second one of the summer. So shout out my 28s. They were studs yesterday. We were really awesome practice, although one of our guys broke his thumb, which is not good.
I broke my thumb before in club.
That's the way of the road.
Yeah, it's tough.
We're gonna lose some fingers at some point. Still here.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling him the story of last year, right before Stevenson, when we were doing 5-spot upgrade, and I was the second ball at X, and I dodged on Rut, or I dodged on someone, and Rut slid to me, and he checked me so hard on my thumb that it split it open under the glove. And I just remember the pain that I felt in that moment. Like at first it went numb, and then I looked down at my glove. My glove was covered in blood. I ripped off my glove thinking that my fingernail would come with it because it just hurt so bad. And I literally just like stared at my thumb that was dripping blood, split open. And I think I went to Cole for Duluth, and I was like, Coach, I think I need to go to the training room. And they're like, yeah, get off the field right now. I was like, okay, just ditzy my way up to Jess. And I came in like, of course, typical me, just like laughing, where I'm like, hey, Jess, I think I got a boo-boo. And then they went ahead and treated me, and it was some of the worst pain in my life, but fun stuff. So pray for Wyatt, man. He's a beast. Hopefully he's okay.
Oh,
Well, that's the kid. That's the kid's name.
Wyatt.
It's Wyatt going into 8th grade in the city of Seattle. He's on my team.
Yeah, Wyatt, is it Wyatt Miller from Mount Si?
No, I don't think he's from outside. But either way,
But shout out to him,
yeah, he better be listening.
Shout
I'm
out
gonna
to
tell
Wyatt
all my
Miller.
boys. I'm gonna tell all my boys, or I've told them about the podcast. I don't think I hope none of them listen to this. Like some of the stuff is just not for them. But no, shut.
Not the end of the world.
All right, Colton. Give it to us.
Draft. Draft your, like, my 2 that I was thinking of are either draft your like favorite energy drink or draft your favorite like burrito places, because you have like there's plenty of different energy drinks, obviously, but like you have like Chipotle, Moe's, Qdoba. There's a few others I'm forgetting right now. I mean, you have
I think energy drinks. Energy drinks is more broad, and I do a thing with Eddie M. If anyone's familiar with him on Instagram, he's a Cabrini guy, and he does videography for a lot of places. And I'm tight with him because we're both communication majors. So we do energy drink reviews with each other. Well, we will just send videos of us trying new energy drinks and give them scores like Portnoy. So I have a couple actually like pretty strong opinions about my beverages because I am a big energy drink consumer. I'm guilty on the caffeine train.
Energy drinks. Then I want to hear Fridge pop off about like Monster.
So real
Oh.
fast, are we going to narrow it to brands or are we doing flavors?
Brands.
Oh, okay. Done. Boom. Awesome.
All right.
Oh,
That's going to be extremely hard.
I think brands make more sense than a flavor.
You're
Yeah,
right, but I was
because,
thinking
like-
I was thinking if we were doing like top 5 energy drinks, it would be hey, this is this brand with this flavor. That's my number 1.
I see. I mean, if you want to add the flavor, that totally is valid, but like so many different flavors taste better or worse between different brands that it's almost like knowing which brand is better is more important. Like sometimes I could go to a store and be like, I'm going to get this brand. And if there's even like the worst flavor, I'm like, this does what I want it to do the right way. So I'm getting this one.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think we can get creative with some of these too, because there's some interesting brands out there that like
There
I've
is.
tried and I associate with a little bit more. And there's moods of when I'm going to a Wawa and picking out an energy drink. Like there's some days where it's like, okay, I'm feeling this, or like, that's not really appealing. I'm just gonna settle for this. Like I think the branding is a big deciding factor in like where am I gonna go, which direction. So I'm in on that.
Okay, bet. Nick, you want to go first?
No, dude, you're the guest.
It's all right. I would say like Reigns are my favorite. Reigns have like consistently good flavors, I think, across the board. There's a single Reign. Definitely Reigns.
That's the best choice.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. And I don't know. Do we want to make this energy drinks that you would buy at like a gas station? Yeah. Something like that. Rather
I think so. Or
Yeah. Anything.
Yeah.
A can, doesn't have to be canned.
because like I don't know. I like for workouts, Total War is what I use. Like I'd say Total War second because that's the one I use the most.
All right, cool.
probably.
So
like
Fridge,
Reign.
whoever goes next, let's just take Total War.
Yeah, your 1-1 is Reign. And then we'll go around and then loop back. So
I'm an idiot. The draft. My bad.
also a pro tip, write down in like a notes app your picks. So at the end, when we like go through our lists, we learned this the hard way. Like it's really hard to remember what you took. So this just makes it a lot easier and simple to do. So Nick.
Okay.
It is time. The way that we are doing this is it's our guess flip a coin.
Yes, Colton, you need to have a coin. You can ask Siri though. You can ask Siri if you need to.
How do you do that? Do I just say Siri flip a coin?
Exactly that. Yes.
Siri.
Or you could even just Google like
Hold a second. Fridgie, who called it last time?
You got it right last time.
So, oh shit, we just go back and forth. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Okay, so did you go first?
I think I did because
All right,
Obviously.
so I'll go first. Bundy, you there, brother?
I was gonna say heads or tails.
All right, flip it. Heads.
It is tails.
Oh, of course.
Tails never fails.
So last time when we did this, we just kept taking tails back and forth, and it was heads like 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn because we have to guess the coin, and that's why this is like the best worst segment of all time. This could go on for days, but it's a 50-50 chance, so we should get it. So I'm going to stick with what works and say tails never fails, even though it has failed me many times in the past.
Give me heads. Wait,
Wait, I have to flip it again?
Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
Get with the program, brother.
Yep, it was tails.
Let's go. Huge dub.
All right, go ahead, Fridgie.
That's why we do it. Okay, so Reign as the number 1 pick. That's the right answer. Like when I'm in the mood for something that's going to give me a pick me up, I go for Reign. 300 milligrams of caffeine, insane flavor. Perfect. I would be disgracing the name of this brand if I didn't take them number 2 overall, and that's Monster. I think that's the only option for, the upper echelon of these flavors. The Monster Zero Sugars are awesome. You get a lot of great unique flavors. The tropical or Fiesta Punch, whatever it is, it's like a mango. It's S tier. It's like an easy 9.3, 9.4 on my scale. Like that's a go-to that I've never missed on. So Monster, number 2 overall.
Fun fact, Monster owns Reign.
Yes, you did tell me about that.
Yes, because I bought a Reign the one day and it had a Monster tab on it, and I was, I thought, I quickly dove into that, and
That confused you so much. You were like, "What?"
dude, I went through it. Yeah. So I'm just gonna take it now because I feel like it's gonna go, and I feel like it's very popular. I don't use this, but it's still on the board, so I'm gonna go with 5 Hour Energy.
Ooh, okay.
All right. 5 Hour Energy.
Nate
I
Mazurek liked that pick.
Yeah, he did.
Is Mazurek a 5 Hour Energy crack monkey?
Huge. When
He
he's
likes
doing
it for
like
the
big road
taste.
trips.
Likes it for the taste. Yeah, take like 10 and puts them in. Yeah,
He takes 10 of them?
1,500.
What a crackhead, Nate. Nate.
50 Hour Energy.
Nate is a crackhead.
We call that
50
finals
hour-
week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Bundy.
Second pick.
I'm up again.
Yeah.
All right. Gotta go Total War.
Total
Total
War. That's
War.
one I haven't
Amazing.
tried out yet. I'm gonna put it on my list. I gotta find it somewhere.
Go
Oh,
on.
you can find it like anywhere.
I'll have to keep my eye out for it. But the one that I have honestly yet to try, but I've heard so many great things, and it instantly in our rankings from me and Eddie, it instantly jumped up into that S tier of energy drinks. 3D. If you've ever had 3D, I assume that you know that they're legit, but apparently they are incredible. So I have to add that to my squad. Get a little
Yeah.
Monster 3D. It's owned by Bradley Martin, if I'm not mistaken, who's a fitness influencer, and they're just incredible. So 3D, put it
Damn,
down.
all right.
Welcome to Team Fridge.
Very nice.
Nice.
I'm gonna go with Bang. Big Bang guy.
Ooh, that's a good pickup there.
Big fan of Bang. Bang actually got me introduced to energy drinks. Shout out Johnny Scabella. What was the cotton candy Bang? Damn. Pretty shaking his head. Fridge
That was gonna
doesn't
be my
like
next
sweets.
pick. That
Yeah.
was gonna be my
I
next pick.
love sweets, but the first time that I had that, I think I remember just being punched in the face with like, whoa, sugar, but it's fake sugar. So like my brain's confused. So I wasn't the biggest fan of Bangs, and I haven't really had one in a while.
So
But solid
Wawa no
pick. That's
longer
the right pick.
Wawa no longer sells Bang. They only sell Reign, Monster, Red Bull, and
Well,
like
didn't they
the
go out
other.
of business?
Maybe they did, but like you can go to 7-Eleven and get a Bang.
I think they got in trouble.
Yeah, I think I remember reading something about that.
Well,
Like they said,
7-Eleven
creatine
fully
was in their
stocked.
mixes, and it wasn't in their mixes. I think was the problem.
Damn.
Interesting.
They were
It's
lying.
still a good flavor. Yeah, Bundy. Yeah.
Mine, Old Faithful, Red Bull.
Oh, it took it right under my
Yeah.
nose. I was gonna go there. Again,
Yeah.
that's the right answer. Whether you're using it, they also, what I like is they have the different flavors and some of the smaller ones. Where if I'm like kind of,
If you ever have a chance to get the blue raspberry, like the raspberry flavored, and do a vodka Red Bull with that, wow, those will get you going. Those are
it'll
legit.
change your life.
Yes.
Bear Evans is famous for having the blue Red Bulls before practice all the time. I think it's him and Matty Williams always rip those things. They're delicious.
I could
But,
never play on Red Bull, but like otherwise I like it.
Yeah, like I'll use it as a late in the day, like pick me up for class. Like I'll get one of the smaller cans, which is like 90, 100 mils of caffeine, and it'll kind of just like keep you running for a little bit. But I've been put on. I used to not be a Red Bull guy. Now I've gotten used to the flavor, and I'm like okay with it. Where I can understand where like the base Red Bull, like it's got its fans. It does the job. So that's a great pick there. My number
Who's next?
3.
You're up.
Let me see. I might go with a little bit of an unpopular pick or like a controversial one, but I'm a really big Celsius guy. I love me some Celsius. I think that some of them are a little bit off, but the mango green tea, whatever it is, that one's awesome. Nick's shaking his head, but he's wrong. And then some of their specialty flavors are also like very, very tasty. And I've been known if I'm in one of those moods where it's like, ooh, you know what? I kind of want a Celsius. Like, I don't know. It just brings out the summer vibe. It's a little more refreshing. I'm taking Celsius. Put it on the team.
Yeah, Celsius sucks. Good for you though. I'm taking. No, I don't really know what. I have 3 written down, and I don't think one of them's going to get taken. I think the other one is, but I really don't know any other energy drinks. So these like the ones like I'm trying to envision like a Wawa shelf, reading through. So I have Bucked Up.
I like it.
Okay.
Bucked
like
Up.
it.
Yeah, I remember freshman year, my neighbor in the dorms. I was over in their dorm the one day, and he pulled out his thing of Bucked Up, and it was like the red, white, and blue flavor. I don't know what it's called, and he put some in, and I was like, yeah, can I try that? Like, I just like, stuck my finger in. Dude, I was literally bouncing off the walls. It was awesome. It was so, and it tasted good too. But I knew guys when I was in high school before a game, they would put it on a card and they'd snort it.
Nuts.
That couldn't be me. Couldn't it be me? But,
Unnecessary. Unnecessary.
Super. They did.
So
I was like, wow, that's a mentality issue. But yeah.
That's
No
crazy.
offense to anybody that's listening.
Nah.
Yeah.
Take the offense. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly,
Nick's barking up your tree. My next one, like these things were nuts when I was in middle school. Nas Energy, the ones that literally looked like they would go in a car. They were like a bullet. They didn't sell them small. You had to buy a fat one, like the size of a Four Loko. But like it wasn't like an alcoholic drink, but it's like that size. They're huge. That was like the smallest they were sold.
24 ounces of pure energy.
It was nuts.
Yeah, I've yet to have one of those, but
I've never tried it either.
I might have to search it out, and especially just like a giant one and just walk around with it.
I don't know if I want to give them my money. It's one of those.
Do it.
I've only ever bought Monster once, and it was disgusting. I don't know how Monster. I think Monster's disgusting, but like Reign is still Reign. Yeah, I did buy the original, but yeah, like I don't know. Anyways, Bridget.
So I realized when you were talking, Nick, about like when you go into a Wawa, the stuff you look at, I realized I almost fumbled so hard taking Celsius over this, but I'm really glad that it fell to me because this is one of my favorite brands of all time. C4. I have been loving all of the C4 flavors that they drop.
That's next on my list.
So like Swedish Fish is an underrated good one. The strawberry, or wait, no. Oh, I just gave that up. That was another brand. But the strawberry Starburst C4 is a 9.7 out of 10 on my scale. I think it is one of the best energy drinks on the market. It always hits every single time. It's got that like kind of juicy Starburst flavor while being like a strong carbonation. All the factors just come together. All the C4s I've had have not disappointed so far. So I got to have them on my team. They're a go-to in my rotation every time.
C4 is Old Faithful.
Yeah.
It is.
Barry Bombsicle.
So high school because you could go get that at like Safeway.
Yes, the Bombsicle Pop is great.
Every place.
Is it Bombsicle Berry or Berry Bombsicle? Whatever it is, it's good. It's the blue one. Yeah.
Yeah, they're legit.
So
Nick,
next on my list, this is they had them in like middle school at Prospect, you know. I don't even think they were like caffeinated, because why would you give middle schoolers caffeine? Kickstart.
Mountain Dew Kickstart.
Yep.
Oh, those did
Ooh.
have caffeine in them. I remember those. Those were crack. in
Bundy
high school.
ripped Kickstarts.
Because they were actually at lunch. You could get them like in the cafeteria.
I
Everybody
shotgunned
drinks
one in the
Kickstarts.
cafeteria before.
Yeah, if you weren't ripping Kickstarts, what were you doing? Like at lunch
Exactly.
in high school. That was
Exactly.
ridiculous. That was so dumb. They should not have allowed that.
Yeah,
That's a
That's all
great
right.
pick.
thank you. I really thought
That
about
is a
it.
great pick.
But you took C4, and now I have no more in my head. I got one, but it's shitty. No offense to the man that made it, because he's a legend.
What is it?
I'm not gonna
Well,
fuck you.
we're gonna have to find out.
You're up. Oh wait, my bad. My last one, again, highly. What just happened? I'm back.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry. Highly underrated is Full Throttle. Those things were nuts. They look like a beer, but they're not a beer. They're like a citrus flavor. Like it almost looks like a beer can, but they're pretty nuts. They have like an eagle on the front of it.
I've not had one of those yet.
You've never seen one?
Again, I'm adding a lot of these like just kind of brands that I need to put in my rotation. Like, give this one a review. See how it
Full
feels.
Throttle.
Give it
It
a
was
run.
very nuts.
I just put one on my list. No shot in hell you take it, Fergie.
Really?
No
Give me a
shot in hell.
challenge here.
No shot
did
in how
have-
you're thinking on the same brain level as me right now. Here we go.
All right,
Let's
Friggy,
see.
let's see what you got.
So I
You guys
did
are
write
right.
down a brand here for my last pick. I hinted at it in the last round because this is another one that is kind of a special occasion at a gas station. If you walk in and you see these flavors, you got a good spot, and that's Ghost, because Ghost has some very, very solid flavors
Are
where
they
they kind of
legit?
branch
I've
out a
never
little bit.
tried a Ghost.
I enjoy them, but my taste buds are broken, obviously. They have like a Swedish fish flavor, which is solid. I wouldn't like be screaming about it. The watermelon, what is it? Sour Patch
Water.
Kid.
That's good.
That one's awesome.
That's
The
a good
blue
one. Yeah.
raspberry Sour Patch Kid, incredible.
The
The red
thoughts of
ones
those
in-
flavors gives me diabetes.
But they're all
I
sugar free.
hear those flavors in like
Like, it's all fake
I
sugar,
think
so
of
it's real.
liquid
It's
form. I
great.
think of like a stomach ache, like a major stomach ache, like liquid
enough.
Swedish fish. Oh my god! Ew.
I mean, shoot, you just got to go to Rita's Water Ice for that one.
Oh my.
Literally.
Yeah, facts.
It's
All
good.
right,
It's
but
so
that's
good, so.
that's what I'm going with. Ghost.
That's a good
Okay,
one.
I
I
like
wasn't even thinking that. So you were on a different brain level than me. I'm gonna go with the new kid in town, Gatorade Energy.
He was so excited about this pick.
It's fine. It's fine. 'Cause I can't think of
Energy.
anything else. I
They
can't think of
literally
anything
just-
else.
Made Gatorade and then put caffeine in it, and we're like,
What is
Gatorade.
it, like Fast Twitch? It's just to compete with. Actually, I have an honorable mention after this,
It's to
but
compete with Prime, right?
yes, which
Yeah.
would be my honorable mention because the Prime energy drinks are actually very, very good.
Oh,
They're
Prime
legit.
makes an energy drink.
They do,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know
I've had
that.
a few of them.
Yeah. My
That
honorable
The red
probably
one.
would have been on my list if I knew that instead of Gatorade. But honorable mention it shall be. Bundy, did you write down your list?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's review. Go ahead. Let me hear your 5.
All right. Rain, Total War, Red Bull, Nas, and Full Throttle.
That's a
Hell of a
really
list.
like put
That's a
together
mo-
squad right there.
That's a more mature list because he is 25. You can
Yes.
tell that
I'm not
he's
that
been
old.
so, 2 weeks, whatever you said it was. But he's been in the game of energy drinks longer than us, and it just
Yeah.
shows. Shows.
Season. It's a seasoned vet roster. Put it together, ready to win.
It is.
They've
'Cause
taken their
I've-
licks. They stay
I've never
steady.
had Nas. I've never had Full
Yeah,
Throttle.
you don't know about Nas. Go rip a
You
Nas.
You don't know about it,
Well,
youngin.
No, I don't need.
You don't
some.
know about it.
Yeah, Reggie, let me hear it.
So I have more of the kind of new school guys who are fresh on the block. Started off with the OG Monster, but then 3D, Celsius, C4, and then Ghost. So a lot of the kind of new brands that are just popping up in these gas stations, but they get the job done.
C4 is like the Udonis Haslam of your team.
True. And also like C4 has been around for a while, but they've rebranded so many times that they keep looking new. So you'll see a different flavor.
Udonis Haslam.
Yes. Hey, so if I can get a couple championships out of it, I'll take it. Vote for Udonis Haslam.
I wanted Udonis Haslam to win it so bad this year with the Heat. I was pissed that the Heat lost. That was not the vibe.
That's funny.
Go Nuggets, though.
All righty. Top
Good
us
for
off.
Nuggets.
We got 5 Hour Energy.
Yeah, more
Bang.
Mando. Let's see it.
Bucked Up, Kickstart, and the sleeper Gatorade Energy. I haven't had Gatorade Energy yet, so
it's a very like aggressive roster with the cover like what do you call it? Like the centerpiece and the face of the franchise is Gatorade. You keep Gatorade on for the brand, sells tickets.
yes, it
and
gives
then the
the money.
others do the dirty work.
Yeah, Gatorade's dad owns the team.
Gatorade's dad owns the team. Yes.
That's a bunch of scrappy guys. Like wouldn't be your traditional picks, but they'll just go out there and they'll fight hard. Like 5 Hour Energy with the number one pick.
5
You're
hours.
like, boom, I'm punching you in the face.
Yeah, you're good 4 or 5 hours. I don't know another drink that can tell you that straight up. You know, one of those. But honorable mentions, Prime. What else are we working with in the honorables? I was thinking Jocko. You have the Jocko drink yet?
Ooh, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, not the greatest, but I only
Not
had
for
one
me.
flavor. No, I only had the one flavor, so
Bless you.
The
Yeah,
C-Bum isn't terrible.
I was gonna say the Chris Bumstead energy drink. Shout out Matty Williams because he got a bunch of them when they dropped, and we tried them in the grill, and they're actually they're pretty good.
They sell them at the grill.
Well, no, he ordered a bunch of them, and we drank them at the grill because we did
you got them from the mailroom, and you drank them warm.
Exactly. Yes.
That's how you know they're good when they taste good warm.
It was solid.
Okay, so C-Bum could be like the best honorable mention on the list.
Could. And they're not like crazy on the caffeine either. So it's like a little bit lighter of a kick, but it still gets you going. It's got great flavor. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Love that.
It's a hell of a list.
Yeah,
This is a competitive term. It's going to be a hard vote for people, I think.
I
We know
is.
you're getting Berserk's vote, unfortunately.
I can't name any more energy drinks.
I don't think Rockstar. I guess that's another kind of like
Rockstar.
classic.
Yeah, Rockstar.
That'd be an honorable mention just because, it's a well-known name. I don't know if I'd seek it out. Although I did do a Rockstar review in the locker room one of the days. It was before a game. It was before practice. And it was the only one I could find at Wawa that looked appealing. So I just, did a little review. It was okay. I think it was like a 7.8, maybe a 7.9. So shout out to Rockstar.
Yeah, I missed Wawa so much.
Yeah,
I miss Wawa currently.
But Wawa exited and Cookout entered my life, and that was fantastic. I miss Cookout now.
I will never forget when we went to Virginia and Ty was he was hyping up Cookout so much, and it must have been something about like Virginia because it just like wasn't that good. Like it was cool, but it wasn't life-changing.
We were also in the butthole of Virginia, so it's okay. We weren't anywhere cool. So
we're not. Farmville was not cool.
There was barely civilization where we were. So that kind of had to do with it too. Whoever was working at that, whoever was working at that Cookout was barely functional.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I remember me, DeLuca, and Tucker outside just shooting the shit.
Bye, Tuck.
The memories of Farmville.
R.I.P. Tuck. R.I.P. Cabrini. Tuck's gone first, though.
Done.
Yeah,
not done yet.
One last ride.
One last go.
Last ride, and we'll have our number one fan in our back corner. Colton, it's been awesome chopping it up with you. Always a great conversation. Any final words for our Lax Lounge audience?
Do you want to shout out anybody?
The floor is all yours.
Huh. I mean, shoot. I mean, I think the craziest part about this year is going to be that, like, for you guys at least, you know, like, not having Colfer there. Like, Cabrini's going down, and Colfer doesn't have his hands on any of it. But, like, it had to be that way. And, you know, I mean, we could shout out Colfer for putting us in the same locker room, allowing that to happen. Shout out Cole. Best of luck to him over at EA. He's going to kill it there. I think he'll have a much better time there, not dealing with the shitheads on our team. he might suddenly start to look 5 to 10 years younger because he won't have as much stress and anger in his life. So, you know, excited to see what Cole does there. I'm really
he's
excited.
Gonna somehow like just bitch out Tommy Vaughn at a practice that Tommy's not there.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna see a kid go low to high and be like, no, Tom, and be like, fuck, nope. Not on ERDF. I'm not on Edith Rob Dixon Field right now.
Somebody's gonna he's gonna see somebody dodge to the same direction that the ball got thrown to them and be like, Julian, where did the ball come from? Oh, wait, no, not at Cabrini anymore. One of my favorite Colfer, my favorite like bland Colfer chirps was when he would chirp Julian and be like, where did the ball just come from? And he'd be like, the right. Colfer be like, and where did you dodge to? The right. He'd be like, don't do that. It was absurd.
That's spot on.
I love Julian. Shout out Julian. I miss Julian. Juju Bean.
I saw him about 2 weeks ago.
Shout out Julian. Gosh.
Shout out Julian. Shout out Julian. Yeah. You know what? Shout out Jules.
It's that time. Colton, it's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
And I think
shout out Jules.
Last thing we got to do. Shout out Jules. Thank you guys for listening.
Everybody. Yep.
Next time.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'll be stargazing. I'll be up in the clouds. But I won't come down cause I'll be too faded. Everybody wanna walk that talk. Wanna talk that talk like we made it. But they all gon' cap. Swear to God, I'll make the money right back. Bitches be tripping, don't know how to act. You just be singing, don't know how to rap. I really be running this shit like I'm Owen. She like a wave, I'm loving her motion. It's like I'm sipping straight up on the potion. Water be dripping and feel like the ocean. I know that I'm different cause I'm from the other side. She's saying that she want me, girl, that's capping, girl, you lying. Everything I ever did, all I do is right. You could never say it, cause you switched up and you lie. Yeah. Had to switch up and you lie. Yeah, I'll be stargazing. I'll be up in the clouds. But I won't come down cause I'll be too faded. Everybody wanna walk that talk. Wanna talk that talk like we made it. But they all gon' cap. Swear to God, I'll make the money right back. Bitches be tripping, don't know how to act.